Excuse me. So good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me for today's session. We've got actually a large number of people registered for this at the last minute. So thank you for joining us from wherever you're at. I think we have people from throughout the country today and including, I think, even abroad. So thank you for being with us for this relatively brief 30-minute webinar. So today's topic is single session evidence-based InShape Prevention Plus Wellness Program. The InShape is our evidence-based program for screening and brief intervention for young adults, which is being implemented throughout the country in colleges and communities and even in the U.S. Air Force. So it has a lot of flexibility, like our Sport Prevention Plus Wellness Program. It also is a screening brief intervention, single session, screening young people for their current health habits, providing customized feedback to trigger positive desired images of themselves, future selves, which increase motivation for change, and then goal setting to start that self-regulation process. So we'll be going through all that. You can see the 4 webinar objectives today. What we'll be doing today as a group is to explore the contents in the InShape Prevention Plus Wellness Program Manual, as well as compare the scripts for implementing InShape Prevention Plus Wellness, or PPW, individually, as well as the script for in-group implementation. Thirdly, to review the PowerPoint slides, and then lastly, to identify some resources on our website at preventionpluswellness.com. So just taking a deep breath myself, I hope you're all well during this very challenging time in everyone's lives, personally and professionally. A lot of fear and anxiety and concern going on throughout the country and the world. We're concerned about and afraid of things that have happened, things that might happen, things that won't happen. And so it's very important, I think, for all of us to make sure we take a deep breath and do focus on things that are important in our lives. Take care of yourselves, make sure you're eating well, getting plenty of sleep and exercise, and practicing some relaxation strategies, whether that be deep breathing or meditation or prayer. I think all these things are very important for all of us as individuals and as professionals, and to share that with our young people and our families and our communities. So a lot has transpired over the last several weeks. I'm sure you're all aware of. The feedback I'm receiving from people throughout the country is that most schools are closed. Most organizations are closed that work with substance use prevention and health with youth and positive youth development. All those operations seem to be stopped temporarily. We are trying to do what we can to provide training to help you provide evidence-based and evidence-informed programs, content, and strategies to your young people via online and distance learning. So we do have a webinar. It was going to be an online training this Friday at the same time, but we had to switch it to a webinar because we have so many people. And I think it's actually closed now. So I think you can still register for it, but if you don't get in, we'll have another section next week. So that's a webinar on providing prevention, particularly prevention plus wellness programs by online and telephone. So we'll be doing that, which was to be a 1-hour training, but we're going to have to do it as a webinar because there's so many people registered for it. So let me know what you need from us, if there's anything we could provide in terms of training. We've tried to provide some additional tools for people. I'm not sure how it's going to work out. I'm waiting for your feedback. We cut a video of our Sport Prevention Plus Wellness program for high school students, thinking that some providers might actually send that link to their youth to reach out to them that way. I'm not sure that's the best approach to use, but we're testing that out. Also, we could live stream the implementation of sport to your young people. But I think probably the answer lies in us helping train you and provide you with the information and knowledge to provide our programs and content to your youth yourselves rather than having us provide it for you. But we do also have booklets of some of our programs for those of you that have to use correspondence programs. So it's essentially continue to provide that prevention and wellness communication to young people, even though you cannot do that necessarily face-to-face, either individually or in a group. So anyway, to share with you one thing that's happened to me just within this morning is my daughter, who lives south of us here in Jacksonville, Florida. She lives in Gainesville, and she was just called in, and she has a high fever and having some problems breathing. So we're sort of wrestling with that right now. So hoping that she will be well. Anyway, having shared that with you, I hope you're all well. So let's go to the chat option. And let's, if you don't mind, I'd love to hear from you before we begin today's session. Let me know who you are, if you could share your first name or last or whatever you feel comfortable with, your organization and where you're from. So your name, organization, and where you're from. So find that chat option. Let me see if I could find it. It should be down below. And just type in that, and we'll be able to share with each other and see who's online today. Can you, let me see, it may not actually be available with the slide up. So let me shut this slide down. Oh no, here it is. I think it's coming in. I'm going to shut the slide down anyway. There we go. So so type in, if you would, your name, organization, and where you're from, and then we'll get a sense of where people are coming in from. And again, I think if nothing else, these trainings have been an opportunity for everybody, at least the feedback I'm getting, to share with each other some of the frustrations and struggles they're all having, and just getting some support from each other, which I think is an awesome thing. Just like I shared with you today some of the issues going on with me personally with this virus, and so I know all of you are wrestling with it as well, if not both personally, I should say, and professionally. So let me go ahead and see who we have calling in today and logging in today. So good morning, by the way, to all of you who are writing in. So I'm going to go to the very top, and it looks like a lot of people. So we may not even be, if we go through all of these, we won't have time to do the webinar. So perhaps I'll just do a sample of these. So, and thank you all for responding. It's awesome to have everybody online today and supporting each other. So we've got Kelvin from the South Bronx. Welcome. And Kelvin has been with us recently, and it's been great to have him participate. I can see you, hear you okay. And so we've got Michaela. Hello, Michaela. It's good to hear from you. I think that's Michaela from West Virginia and that beautiful country there. Yes, you can see me. Good morning. Jody from Great Falls Public Schools, Great Falls and Sky Country, Montana. Welcome. Vanessa from Community Prevention Partnership, Reading, Pennsylvania. I've got a brother-in-law in Pittsburgh. That's a beautiful area up there. Christy from Sport Foundation, Inc. in the Bronx, New York. A lot of users of our evidence-based sport and InShape programs in New York City and as well as the state. Mary from Wayne County, PA. Welcome, Mary. Rose from LUK, Inc. In Massachusetts. Welcome. Grace, Office on Youth in, looks like Waynesboro, VA. Very nice. Paul from Prevention Focus in Buffalo, New York. Looks like Larissa from YES Community Counseling in Long Island, New York. A lot of New York people, awesome. Vance from New Jersey with Prevention is Key. And Marish from Crowley's Ridge Development Council in beautiful Arkansas. We lived there 6 years in Fayetteville. It's the natural state. Hello from Ashley. And hello, Ashley. Barbara from Prevention Educator from Cove Care Center in Carmel, New York. Kevin, as I said before, from the South Bronx with the Sports Foundation. David from Henrik Mental Health Prevention Unit in Henrik, VA. And Lauren with Buffalo, New York, ECCPASA. Thank you very much about that nice comment about my daughter. Cynthia from Drug Free Charlotte County, west coast of Florida, beautiful west coast. We're on the east coast here in Jacksonville, Florida. Good morning from the National Drug Council, Cayman Islands. Love the Cayman Islands, beautiful place to live. Thank you for signing in today. Clarenda, forgive me if I mispronounce your name. I'm being able to look through my glasses at a distance here. North Carolina, organization is Healthy Guilford Coalition, welcome. And Jerry from Pittsburgh, MA, welcome. Jill from Putnam County, New York, a school-based prevention educator. And Carla from, looks like Obion County Prevention Coalition Union in Tennessee, welcome Tennessee. And Tim from Southern, I'm gonna guess, Rockingham Coalition Healthy Youth in New Hampshire. Christy from Sports Foundation in the Bronx as well. So a number of people from that foundation. And Devin from Prevention is Key in Morrison County, New Jersey. Tiffany from, it's a long list, I don't want to leave anybody out. From Centerstone, B Sharp program, Williamsport, Tennessee. That's a beautiful state as well. Good morning, everyone. Erica from New York, prevention educator from Cove Care Center. And looks like Marie from New Jersey, school counseling student. And Melissa from Wayne County, drug and alcohol, Hansdale, PA. And look at Evett from New York, school-based prevention counselor. And Michaela from West Virginia. Hi again, Michaela. Good morning to all. Looks like we've got Eileen from Greensboro, North Carolina. Alcohol Drug Service in Guilford County. Prayers to your family. Thank you so much. Sports Foundation, Inc. Specialist Brittany from YES Community Counseling, Long Island, New York. Ashley from East Alabama Mental Health Center Prevention Services. Tamar from ECCPASA, again, Buffalo, New York. Nikia from Coalition Coordinator with CrossFit Arkansas, organizations Phoenix Youth and Family Services. And Lourdes from SAPIS, Brooklyn, New York. Jasmine from Sports Foundation. And Susan from Operation PAR in Largo, Florida, beautiful area. And like someone from New York City government, and Angie from, what is the St. Joseph's Health Hubbard in Prevention Park Rapids, Minnesota, where my brother lives up there, beautiful Minnesota. Ashley with Sports Foundation. And Tiffany from Akron, Ohio. Delissa from North Drug Council, Cayman Islands. Tori from Prevention Suicide, West Virginia. Whew. So we got people from all over the country. Thank you for joining us. So I'm gonna jump right into it because we do have a lot to show you. And I do want to keep it to 30 minutes because I know you're all busy and you've got things going on. But having said that, I will be happy to stay as long as you want to answer any questions that you might have about the InShape Prevention Plus Wellness program. So let me pull it up so you can take a look at it. This is it. This is the manual you get. It is our parallel program to the Sport Prevention Plus Wellness program, where Sport Prevention Plus Wellness, evidence-based for youth. We have high school, middle school, elementary school versions. This InShape Prevention Plus Wellness is for young adults, I'd say 18 to 25, 26. It's been adapted or modified to be used with in the military, as well as many other settings, not just in college settings, but community settings. Let me show you what's in the manual. So you get the manual, you get a physical manual. This is it, the table of contents. You can see there's 5 sections, and you also get a digital download of the program, which allows you to make copies of all the reproducible things. So you get your manual, get your digital download. It's one cost, $4.99, and then you're able to implement it as a provider, as a teacher, instructor, to as many young people as you want for as long as you want, no extra cost, one-time purchase. And then we do have online training to provide for providers for $1.99. That's a 2-hour live online training. By the way, we are including in that training now, because the original training was for providers to implement this program either individually, face-to-face, or in a group. Those are the 2 scripts in the manual. But now we're expanding that training a little bit because of what's going on in the world, to allow you to implement this if you need to, online, live, or by phone. So we're trying to provide those that training, that information to help you with that. So these are the 5 sections, and which I will walk you through very quickly today. There's an introduction. There's number 2, step-by-step directions. There's 3. Section 3 is your script or your protocol to implement this to one-on-one. This is where you sit down with a young person, young adult, face-to-face in a private or semi-private setting, and you provide your intervention to that one person. That's the most tailored version. That section also includes a copy of the screening survey and the goal plan. So that's section 3. Section 4 is the group script. So you can provide this to a group of young people. And then there's evaluation material. So let's go through them very quickly. I'm going to go past the introduction. I'm going to go past the step-by-step directions for implementation. And so let's take a look at section 3. So this is the script, literally a script. You read the script to provide the program. So the script has some real benefits to it over non-scripted programs. So and the main one I would say is this, that if I implement InShape today or next week or next year, or you implement it, or it's implemented in a community college or the U.S. military, if you follow the script, the program is going to be implemented with a certain level of fidelity and reliability because it is scripted. So that's the main advantage. You do need to practice the script so that you become comfortable with it. And that usually takes 3 or 4 run-throughs of providing the script aloud, showing the slides, that coordinating of the slides in the script. And once you do that, you're ready to roll, so that you could really focus on good communication skills, looking at your young adult or your group of young adults, and so that you're not just with your nose in the book reading the script. So practice is key. And again, we provide online training, 2 hours live, 1 hour recorded, to help you walk you through the entire script and then let you practice on your own. So here's the script. Let's take a look at it really quickly. There's an introduction section, and as a script here, it just tells you what to do. It says show your first slide. The slides are provided in your digital download. So you show your slide. We have slides for the visual learner. We have slides to reinforce learning. As you read your script, the key vivid image terminology is in the slides, and then pictures or illustrations of young adults that young people can see as representations of themselves as peers are illustrated in those slides. That means both genders, different types of ethnicities, lots of activities, positive activities. So very, very positive images for the most part. So here it is. You got the script, you show the slide, and you literally read the script. So the script, there's an introduction section. Notice just a couple of sentences, and you introduce the program. Now here, this is one-on-one. So you're providing this to an individual young person. So you might do this as a universal prevention intervention, or you might be providing this to a higher risk young adult, maybe someone that's been identified as having been drinking and driving, or whatever the case might be. So it could be a higher risk young person, as well as just a general population of young people. The second part of the script is that you provide or you implement this screening survey, this wellness behavior screening survey. So you hand a screening survey, just a couple of pages, to the young adult, wait for them to complete it. You pick it back up, you look at it, and depending on how they answer that first question, that first screening survey item, you provide feedback to them. Let's take a look at the screening survey. So there's some directions to make sure they feel comfortable answering the screening survey, not to put their name on it and so forth. But let's take a look at the questions. Question 1 is, most days a week, do you engage in moderate physical activity? At least 30 minutes, such as fast walking, slow biking, skating, dancing, swimming, and they answer yes or no. Question 2, on most days of the week, do you engage in vigorous exercise for at least 20 minutes that makes you sweat and breathe hard, such as, and there's some examples there, and the answer yes or no. Question 3, does your everyday diet include mostly nutrient-dense food? So this is an introduction to a term they may or may not know, such as whole grain bread, cereals, pasta, lean fish, lean poultry, lean meat, dark green and red vegetables, citrus, and other fruits. And they answer, again, yes or no, whether their diet consists mostly of that each day. Question 4 is, do you usually get 8 or more hours of sleep each night? Yes or no. Question 5, on most days, do you use stress control techniques such as progressive muscle relaxation meditation, Tai Chi, yoga, deep breathing, regular exercise, physical activity? And they answer yes or no. Then question 6A for males is, during the past 30 days, have you had 5 or more alcoholic drinks at any one time? Yes, no, or I don't drink. And for the females, question 6B is, in the past 30 days, have you had 4 or more alcoholic drinks in any one day? Yes, no, or I don't drink. So that's an indication of heavy drinking or binge drinking. And then the last item is, in the past 30 days, have you smoked 1 or more cigarettes? Yes or no. So that's the screening survey, 7 very quick items. After the screening survey, there's some other survey questions, but these are what we call the screening survey addenda. It's really a pretest, and it is offered either online or, as you can see here, in a scannable form. So if you ask your young participants to complete the screening survey addenda, this pretest, and then there's a post-test with the same items as on the pretest, you'll be able to assess pre-post changes during that one session InShape program. So we have measures on the pretest and the post-test of behavioral intention. These behavioral intentions are the most highly correlated and predictive of health behaviors known to science. And the question is, in the past year, how likely are you to? Not at all to vary, 4-point scale. And notice the measures include not just substance use, including alcohol, cigarettes, marijuana, e-cigarettes, and illegal drugs, but also wellness behaviors, physical activity, sleep, nutrition, and stress control. So you assess all the behaviors addressed in the InShape Prevention Plus Wellness program, before the program and after the program. And so you could take these 2 forms, if your participants have completed them and filled them out and filed the bubbles and used a dark pen or pencil and scan them through any printer scanner, and you could send that PDF to us, and we'll run an analysis for you free of charge, because we have the software for it. So we buy the software, we rent the software, and we could do that analysis for you. So you get feedback, we learn how you're doing, we can help you then promote your program and improve your program over time. So there's a number of measures in this pre-post test. And so one of them is behavioral intentions, another is social norms, another is perceived risk or a harm, and lastly is avoiding the self-efficacy. So those are the measures that are on the pre-test and the post-test. Then you just continue providing, at this point, feedback. So remember what the steps were: introduction, screening survey. You collected the screening survey from your one participant. You're going to glance at how they answered the first item, and then you're going to provide feedback. So if they answered yes, they got a moderate physical activity. You're going to read the yes response. Yes is green, good, go. And so that's a plus. But if they said no, if they answered no to that screening survey about getting regular moderate physical activity, then you'll read the no response. No is in red, as in high risk, stop, so that kind of thing. So you can read the yes response, you read the no response. So if you read yes, it's, as you can see here, you say to the participant's name, I see you engage in at least 30 minutes of moderate physical activity most days a week. Congratulations, you're physically active. What types of moderate physical activities do you do? And then you show a slide, and by the way, excuse me, this is a two-step messaging process. And we train more about this in the online training. But the first step is you're going to highlight positive benefits, including desired future images of young people engage in that behavior. Remember the behavior, moderate physical activity. So keeping physically active, great way to be fit and to maintain a healthy lifestyle. And so there's a lot of positive image terms in there and other benefits that are cued or triggered. I apologize. And then the second part of the messaging is how substance use, but particularly in InShape, alcohol and tobacco, interferes with that positive behavior. In this case, the behavior is, again, moderate physical activity, and also the benefits of moderate physical activity and how they would feel. So alcohol and tobacco are seen as a barrier or interfering with those positive behaviors and images. But again, if they answered no to regular physical activity, you'd read this response. Again, you'd say the participant's name, and you'd say, I see you may not be getting 30 minutes of moderate physical activity most days a week. This can prevent you from being physically fit. So notice the feedback is either positive, like here, congratulations, you're doing a great job, or it's neutral, you may not be getting physical activity. So you don't want to have any negative feedback, because that could end up shutting down communication between you and the young adult. So there's feedback. You're giving feedback on the first screening survey item, which was moderate physical activity. Then you just go on with the script and you provide feedback to that young adult, providing as to how they answered the second screening survey question on vigorous physical activity. If they said they get regular vigorous physical activity, you read the yes response. That's the green highlighted response. If they said no, they don't, then you read the no response. So you read one or you read the other. And that follows through all the screening survey items. Nutrition item, yes and no, getting sufficient sleep, yes or no, controlling daily stress, yes or no. And then there's feedback on how they answered the alcohol item. And if they said they aren't drinking for males and females, then they'll get the green response. That's sort of a low risk response. But then there's also a higher response where they're drinking binge drinking, and then they'll get the higher risk response. It's yes or it's no. And then the same with the cigarette response, yes or no. And then after that, feedback is given. Then you go right into the goal plan. Now, the goal plan is that third part. There are three parts to the intervention: screen young people for their current health habits, so they start thinking about where they're at with their behaviors, a range of health behaviors, not just substance use, but also protective wellness behaviors, physical activity, nutrition, sleep, and so forth. Secondly, you provide feedback on those behaviors, triggering desired future images of themselves. That increases motivation to change, and now you're going to capitalize on it. And so to the extent that young people have found that there are certain benefits to healthy behaviors and they're not engaged in them, and they see themselves, their future selves, as a desired value, then they'll set goals to increase self-regulation or self-control, and they'll initiate behavior change. So this is the goal plan. And so the first part of the goal plan is you just recommend all of the healthy behaviors and avoiding substance use, not just alcohol and tobacco, but e-cigarettes and heavy drinking, drinking and driving, and a number of other things. And then you're going to walk them through goal setting, physical activity and exercise, and to identify specific goals. What is the measurable goal, as well as the quantity and frequency, to avoid alcohol use, particularly heavy use, to avoid tobacco use, and then if they want to choose other healthy habits, improve nutrition, increase stress management, increase sleep, avoid some other substance use, and then again, they identify the measurable behavior and quantity and frequency. And then there's an opportunity for signatures and co-signatures as a contract to increase motivation. And then there's some really important concluding comments to increase motivation and to help them monitor their behavior. That's the individual script. There's also a group script for you. And so if you wanted to provide this to young people, young adults in a group setting, this is the group script. Notice you still have an introduction, show the same slides. You walk them through goal setting, but this time the whole group completes their own goals individually, but as a group. And then you provide feedback. Now, the feedback isn't individually, it's more generic, but still very much tailored, because each individual will complete their own goal plan. So you provide feedback on moderate physical activity. You show the same slides as you would if you implement it one-on-one. You provide feedback on vigorous exercise. The only difference is we assume more of a positive stance, that they are getting some of these things. They're engaged in some of these wellness behaviors and avoiding the risk behaviors. Healthy nutrition feedback, sleep feedback, controlling stress, and then feedback on avoiding alcohol. Now, the feedback on alcohol, a little bit more content, because we're addressing, for example, how alcohol use can harm health and fitness, how it can, there's negative perceptions about heavy drinkers, and then some other content as well. So there's a little bit more content in relation to the alcohol slide. And then there's content on the tobacco. And then lastly, again, goal setting. So whether you implement it one-on-one or in a group, you walk them through those 3 steps: goal setting, feedback, and screening survey, feedback, and goal setting. There's also an interactive exercise. So there's options. If you want to provide more than that single session screening and brief intervention, we provide some additional resources like this interactive exercise. Then there are some evaluation materials. Here's the feedback survey, which is the post-test, has the same items on it as the pre-test. So again, if you collect these either online or by hard copies and scan them and send them to us, we could run a pre-post analysis for you. The only difference in the post-test is that there's also write-in responses, which are critical, because item 5, what did they like best? You can use those quotes to promote your program to other youth, other community members, organizations, media, funding sources. And then item 6, what did they like least, will give you hints as to how you can improve your program over time. There's also an instructor survey, which is a process measure, and we also have a fidelity checklist that you can use. So those are all the materials in the manual and the digital download. I just want to show you one other thing because we're running out of time here. These are the slides that you get. So I just want to show you one thing you didn't see, and that is if you do provide this program in a group, and that means not just a group, you know, a physical group, but again, if you're providing this, let's say online to a group, or I would say online to a group, then you might be interested in this. This could save you some time. You can get people to complete their screening survey together. They could see the directions as you read them, and then you can show these items, so you could sort of move them along quicker because you're showing these slides. And you could, if you don't want to use these, you don't have to. You could pass these items up. But it seemed to me like these were very helpful if you implement the InShape program in a group setting. And then also after your screening survey items, the last item being number 7, there's these pre-test addenda items. So if you were collecting these by way of scannable form, then you can again move everybody along, and you could emphasize making sure everybody completes their surveys, staying within the bubble, because you're going to scan them and send them to us, and we're going to run an analysis. So we do want to have those bubbles completed accurately and not a bunch of other marks outside the bubbles. And again, we do have an optional online survey for this. So any questions, any items you have, any problems you have, you could always reach out to us on our website, preventionpluswellness.com. So, and in fact, let me go ahead and just pull that up for you. That's the only other thing I'm going to do, and then I'm going to see if you have any questions that you want to ask or any comments. I just want to pull up our website to show you that we have a number of free resources on our website. And so if you have not been to our website, I highly recommend you go to it, and because you'll find some good stuff there that is free for you to use. So I'm pulling up my website. My internet is slow here today, so it's taking a little bit longer to load on top of everything else. So here we go. So let me show you this, the website, preventionpluswellness.com. Here it is, and it's slow to load, so we don't have the. Let me see if I could bring the images up a little bit better. So there it is. So there's the home page. Explore it. Take a look at it. Under news in the upper right-hand corner, there's a bunch of blogs and items and free webinars that we're offering and other items. So do sign up. Do plug your email in here so you get regular email blasts. But if you can look at the programs we offer, the training we offer. But if you look at more, there's a bunch of free resources. So do look at the MORE area. But if you need to reach me, in the lower right-hand corner, there's a message us. You can just click on that and send me a message. And that's probably the easiest way to reach me. Although you can reach us at our email address, info at preventionpluswellness.com. And you could call us here in Jacksonville, Florida, 904-472-5022. So lots of things going on, lots of things that we're trying to offer, free webinars and online training and, distance learning strategies, trying to help you continue to provide that essential prevention and youth development messaging to your youth, to your young adults, while we are all in lockdown over this COVID-19. Anyway, I went through that pretty quickly because we spent quite a bit of time with introductions. So let me stop at this point and see if anybody has any questions. So now's the time if you have any questions, any comments. We're out of time, but I'm going to stay here because I want to make sure I answer anything you have about the InShape Prevention Plus Wellness Program or any of our programs, any of our training, any of our resources, anything that you need. I'm here to listen to what you need. If there's anything, I mean, if you share with us what you need, because we're a small organization, we're able to oftentimes make some adaptations and provide some things for you that larger prevention organizations may not be able to do. So let me know what you think. Type in your requests, your comments, your questions in the chat room now, and I'll see if there's anything that I can answer at this point. Let me just go back, make sure I've not missed anything. Can this program be adopted for youth 14 to 18? It could, but we already have a program for youth 14 to 18. It's called Sport Prevention Plus Wellness, and the high school version would be most appropriate. So we, again, remember we have Sport Prevention for Wellness. We got a high school, middle school, elementary school, and we've got InShape Prevention Plus Wellness for young adults. So we've got the whole age range of youth, from children all the way to young adults, that whole developmental period where risk increases from children and peaks at the highest risk with young adults. So you can intervene with Prevention Plus Wellness, screening and brief interventions throughout their developmental period if you wanted to. If your organization or you as a professional want to do that, you can do that. And because our programs are for the most part a single session, they can really reach all youth, and you can have a significant public health effect. But then we also train in our live online training and on-site how to expand these programs to more than one session if you have access to your young people and want to provide them more content. So that was a good question. So we got, now the question is, can InShape be adopted or modified for older adults? And the question is, it can, and it has been, and is being used in the settings, in different settings throughout the country. So they're just, for the most part, just switching out images of younger adults and putting in older adults. So we do train you on that in the training too. You can tailor your program, you can modify your program, and we will help you with that if you want help. So that was a great question. Another question is, can vaping be added to the cigarette portion? Yes, it can be added. So you can do that tailoring as well. And remember, the built-in evaluation pre-post assesses vaping, e-cigarette use. So you can really test and see if the program has an impact on vaping as is, and you can then change it and include vaping, you know, and see if that makes a difference. So you have a lot of flexibility with this program. And we did include vaping and other substances in the goal plan. So that is mentioned there, but no specific messages about vaping. So it'd be easy enough to expand the cigarette messages to include vaping as well, and to have a separate section. And we could do that for you too, if you wanted to. So we have a lot of flexibility. And so we have organizations say, hey, we want this program, but we want it to address just vaping. So that's how our other programs were developed. That's how we developed vaping prevention plus wellness, marijuana prevention plus wellness, opioid prevention plus wellness, In God's Image, which is a faith-based prevention plus wellness program. Sport 2, which actually has 6 lessons. So if you need us to develop something for you, we could do it if you motivate us. If you say, hey, I'm going to make a pre-order of a program for young adults that addresses just vaping, we can do that for you if you make a pre-order. So let us know what you need from us, or you can do that on your own, and we could certainly give you a hand with that. So those were great questions. I don't see any other questions. Again, I just want to wait another minute or two. If you have any questions, any comments about InShape Prevention Plus Wellness, I'll follow up and send you a link to this recorded session. We really don't have any slides to show, so you could share the recorded session, if you will, with others in your region. And I'll send you a certificate for half an hour CEU if you want that. So I will be following up with everyone who's registered for this session. We had a good number of people. Let's see if there's one more time, if there's any other questions or comments. Let's see. So, can you provide your email address or contact information? Yes. The easiest thing, as I said before, is to go to our website, preventionpluswellness.com. And then in the lower right-hand screen, it just says contact us. But let me go ahead and give it to you one more time. In fact, let me go ahead and type it in for you. I'll type it in right here. Here it is. Our email address is info@preventionpluswellness.com. And our phone number is 904-472 5022. Woo! Whoop, didn't go. There it is. So there it is, info@preventionpluswellness.com. It's easy to make a mistake with typing that in, by the way. You know, it's easy to drop an L in wellness or an S, or, you know, so you'll have to type that in carefully because it is rather long. And 904-472 5022 is our phone number here in Jacksonville, Florida. Here's my business phone. I'm waiting for your call. Good question, and I appreciate that. Thank you so much for sitting in on today's session. God bless you for all you do with the young people, the young adults in your region, in your communities. Let me know if I can help in any way. Be happy to help you with your efforts to continue to provide evidence-based, evidence-informed, positive youth development messaging and programs during the coronavirus and after the coronavirus. So thank you so much. Have a great afternoon, and please stay safe, everybody, and be healthy.